Welcome to Collections of Cinema. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Collections of Cinema. Cinema. I'm your host, Dani, and this is your other host, Woifi.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's cracking?
Crack-a-lackin'.
Crack-a-lackin'.
You can do the what's up.
What's up?
Anyways, so this is a very special episode
This is a very
of
special
Collections of
episode.
Cinema because we are talking about the movie Boyhood, but we're not talking about it alone.
That's what I literally said with the guest already.
Yeah, I know, but the guest is not on
Let's
yet.
quickly explain, because this episode was supposed to be the first episode of this season.
Yes.
But due to unforeseen events that nobody is to blame for, wink.
It's me. I'm to blame.
No, nobody's to blame.
I'm to blame.
Okay, Danielle is to blame for.
I popped Frank's tire.
Yeah, and then now we can tell you, Frank, that she slit your tires.
Sorry.
And then she just flew to Boston, did that,
Real
and
quick,
flew back. Yeah.
Real quick trip.
Right. So yeah. Let's start. So today's movie is Boyhood. I have it here in the regular Blu-ray, and it's Richard Linklater's coming of age. I think it's like the most coming of age movie that there is, because it's literally
The most authentic.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we're not talking about the movie alone. Of course not. Of course, of course, we have a guest, and it's Frankie.
Frankie. Hi, Frankie.
Or Frank, you're right, Frank. From his podcast, Cinema Reels.
Reels of Cinema.
Reels of Cinema.
Come
sorry.
on,
I'm
do
sorry.
your
I'm sorry.
research.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. It's been a lot going through my head. But welcome.
I cannot tell you how much I appreciate. This is so cool. I'm honored to be on your show. Thank you, guys. Great to see you again.
And I have to add that you chose the movie. We sent you a list of, now probably an old list, because I've added like 10 movies probably, or
There's
20
like
more.
a new movie every other day, it feels like, coming to the house.
Yeah, it's an addiction. But you chose, I think, 4 movies. We talked about it. It was Boyhood
127 Hours, Boyhood, Arrival, and
Children of Men. Like amazing picks, I have to say. Like all of them. It was not easy. First of all, 127 Hours is one of my favorite movies, also because it came out
the same
a year before I had my accident. And it was, I have even a tattoo honoring the guy who actually had the accident. So it's a very emotional and personal movie for me. But Boyhood is also such a, I love coming of age movies.
It's like an art of filmmaking, that movie.
So why did you choose that movie? Just quickly, why was that your choice? If you remember.
Well, I first saw it back in 2014 when it was up for all of those Oscars. And Patricia Arquette got supporting actress. It was nominated for Best Picture. I saw it then, and I really appreciated it at the time for the audacious approach it took to telling this coming-of-age story. This was filmed little by little over a span of, I think it was 12 years? Is that right?
12 years,
Yeah.
So to reunite the same cast and crew for 12 years straight, and to successfully be able to keep that kind of project under wraps, nobody knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a tip of the hat to in my opinion, the creative genius behind it. So when I saw it, I loved it. And then when it did not get Best Picture, Birdman did instead. I said, okay, I'm going to allow this because Birdman I love too. But and then at this point in time, it's now 2025, and I figured, you know what? Let me go back and revisit this film. This is now 11 years after its release, and I'm at a different point in my life, and you guys are at different points in your lives, and I just thought it might make for a fascinating discussion about how where people are in their lives affects the way that they would perceive stories like this, especially coming of age stories.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said when we watched it. Watching it in 2013, No, 2014, yeah. The first time I was still young. I was 24, so I was still in college or in high school. No, not in college, yeah, or university. I was at a completely different point in my life, and I also was more attached to the boy. Like, obviously, the boy was more my like, oh, this is
closer to your age, at least.
To my experience and to my age. And then now I'm watching it and I feel like, oh, Ethan Hawke is now the person that I'm feeling more drawn to, or feel more like I understand that person to a degree, obviously. And it's interesting because the movie itself is like, we talked about it before, that there's no real story, and the way they filmed it also was not like there was a fixed script, but Richard Linklater just wrote things as the years progressed, and he wrote things from his perspective. But also, I think I might have seen that Ethan Hawke also contributed in a way to the story, but I don't remember. But they took things out of their lives during that time, and so it just came together by piecing or by picking those few years and those experiences and how they were just fitting to their ages. And I feel like that's such a cool process, as you already said, like such a unique and cool process of like filming something over that many years. Yeah, it's nuts to me.
I mean, for me, it feels like maybe such a small thing to appreciate, but I hate when movies have way too much exposition, where it's like unnecessary exposition. You know, like there are some movies where someone's on the phone and they're like, but you're my sister. And it's like, yeah, okay, there has to be a better way. And it really bothers me. And this movie, even though it's filmed over 12 years and you never are really sure exactly what year it is, like they never explicitly say it's this year, they do such a good job of like keeping you in the loop of what time we're in right now without giving that overbearing exposition where it's just like, here's a really tiny reference here and there to like Harry Potter or, you know, little things like that.
Yeah. Also, I think just quickly, I think what's super interesting and it's almost throwing you off when you watch the movie, when you see the character's age. Typically what they do is, because they film it in a year, they exchange the actors, right? So they take a new actor who looks similar to the other one. But you see those people grow, you see those people age in real time, more or less, like in
more
real
so
time
the kids than
right.
everybody
And
else,
it's so interesting just to how to see the boy, the main character, Mason, just grow from this kid to this almost adult. That alone is such a unique experience almost. And it feels a little bit like Truman Show. Because like it's encapsulated.
Like you're part of the Truman Show.
Right. It's so interesting. Yeah.
I'll tell you, the first time I saw it, the scene when Ethan Hawke is playing hide and seek with the two kids, that's where I was. And I am definitely right now where he was at the end of the film when he turns to his son and says to him, back when your father actually used to be cool. It's like, yeah, I can remember that. I can remember when I actually regarded myself as someone who was actually kind of with it. And now it's like, you know, now it's the obsolete old man, you know, like not old man, but you know what I'm saying. That kind of a feeling that parenthood sometimes graciously grants you every once in a while when you realize, no, I guess I'm not 21 anymore. But I think another thing for me that made the film so great was just how much authenticity was in it, how much truth was in it. You don't have these cloying Hollywood tropes of, you don't have big climactic fight scenes. You don't have Dani, as you were saying just now, I use the phrase clunky expository dialogue, which I hate. In fact, there's a comedian online who did a reel all about that. I'll send it to you guys after this recording. It is hysterical. I'm not even going to try to quote any of it. I'm just going to let you experience it for yourselves. But the authenticity of this film is what really makes it work for me. I think that if they very easily could have gone into the territory of having corny, cliched endings, everything tied up in a neat little bow. Year 7 was difficult, but year 8 is now good because we reached closure with that. And now with year 9, let's begin a new storyline. And it wasn't that at all. It was just a legitimate a series of vignettes, and that's what this movie reflects. And to me, that's what makes this movie vastly criminally underrated. I don't hear people talking about it nearly as much as they should be.
I mean, Richard Linklater in general, like, I mean, he did Dazed and Confused, Slackers, Before Sunrise, like the Before series with Before Sunrise.
Fantastic series.
Before Sunset and Before Midnight. Everybody Wants Some, Fast Food Nation, A Scanner Darkly, School of Rock.
He did School of Rock.
He directed School of Rock, yeah.
Awesome.
It's like so many movies, and now he's coming out with Blue Moon this year. I'm very excited about that one, and Nouvelle Vague about the cinematic movement in France in the 60s. I'm super excited about that one. But he always taps into those stories, not always, but most of the times taps into the stories, especially I would say the Before movies, the Free, where it's just like this glimpse of someone's life, and he just throws you into that and then pulls you out again. And that's it. And it's not about, oh, this massive thing happens like Dazed and Confused, or even Everybody Wants Some is also a great example, I feel like, where it's just like, oh, these people are exactly at that point in their lives, and this is how it looks right now, and this is what's important at this point. That's it. That's it.
There's
but that's all.
There's no like dramatic twists or anything that's like thrown at you from nowhere. It's just like literally this is just going through their lives and how their lives change and how they evolve. And I feel like he did such a good job of character development for all of the main characters and not just for Mason.
Yep.
I mean, Mason's character development was so fascinating to watch and so real for his age. But I felt like Ethan Hawke's character development was my favorite in the entire movie, because he started out as kind of this like shitty dad who only shows up when it's convenient and always brings gifts so the kids love him and they're so excited for when he comes. But then you see like the other side where Patricia Arquette and her mom were just like annoyed that the kids like him so much because he's never around. But then he has this like incredible turnaround where he has like this click moment and then legitimately becomes this really good, caring dad.
Yeah.
And I loved his character development.
Yeah.
Well, it's fascinating to me the way that his character did take that turn where he not only found God, but also developed a hell of a wrist for skipping stones across that body of water.
Yeah, right.
And at first I was wondering, the first time I saw it, I was wondering, and then reviewing it again for this, wondering, are we as the viewer of the film supposed to regard his finding of God as a good thing or as a bad thing? Because, you know, Mason's being given the Bible for his birthday, and he's like, oh, yeah, great, thanks. But then I just came to the conclusion, this is my own personal opinion, the conclusion I came to personally was that we're not supposed to feel one way or the other. It just is. It's just there.
Yeah, I like that.
And again, it's the authenticity of the film. It's not a story as much as it is a depiction of life.
Yeah. Perfectly said.
I felt the way, like going back to like his finding of God, for me personally, it felt very much like how it was with my parents. Like my dad was very religious and legitimately very religious, and my mom was not, but she kind of faked it almost for the sake of the relationship and for the sake of like how my dad wanted us to be raised. And so my mom really went into it. She read the Bible many, many times through, which most people have never done. And she actually knew what she was talking about, but she didn't really believe any of it. She just kind of acted like she did. And I kind of got that vibe from him a little bit. Like he's doing it more for the sake of the relationship to be the father that he couldn't, or that he wasn't the first time around. I don't know. That's the feeling I got. Not that he necessarily was making a joke about it or saying, you know, this is all bullshit, but just trying to meet his partner halfway, I guess.
I mean,
that's what I felt.
The whole character, right, was more or less like at the first he was still lost. He was still chasing that dream of becoming a successful musician, and that's very believable. And also a lot of people know exactly where he was at that point. And he changed a lot. He grew up at some point. He knew, okay, it's not gonna happen for me, or I'm not gonna chase it anymore. I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna look for somebody, and he found somebody. And they're different people. They grew up differently. Their family is different, but he adjusted, and he did that what he couldn't do earlier for his kids. But he's still doing it. What I like about it is not that he shuts them out, but he tries to incorporate the whole family together, like a patchwork family, which is very nice, because sometimes you hear that, oh yeah, my dad ran off with this other and has a new family and I never see him again. And I like that it's not that way. He still very much loves both his kids, and he's still there for them. And he's a very good dad at the end. Yeah. And I feel like he also is aware of that. Like he is aware that he wasn't. Yeah. And I like that. Yeah.
I think he did grow in self-awareness. He definitely knew that, at the beginning of the film, he hadn't seen them for a year and a half. And then at the bowling alley, he's buying them French fries, so they don't want dinner with their mother when they get home, didn't check on their homework and all those other parental responsibilities that we're all supposed to be part of. But I did have typed up here the scene that I found really for me, I found the scene where he really had his aha moment was when he's in the car with the two of them, with Samantha and Mason, and he slams on the brakes and he says to them, "I'm not the biological father you see every other week who buys you presents and shit. Don't put me in that category." It's like that was the first moment when we, I think, really see firsthand that he truly does care.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the same scene, but I really liked the scene in the car too, where he was asking them about their day and they weren't telling him anything. They were just like, "It was fine." Is that the same scene?
Yeah. Same scene.
I loved it so much where they just like threw it back at him. They're like, "Yeah, you don't do it either. Like you don't, if we ask you how your day was, you would probably tell us the same thing." And it's like this really kind of sweet moment with all of them where he's like, "Oh yeah, like we could all maybe communicate a little bit better." It was just, I love that whole scene in the car. It's really sweet.
Let's quickly pivot to the mom.
Yes.
Patricia Arquette.
Phenomenal actress.
That woman is a powerhouse. Yeah. And seeing that woman also not like seeing her age that gracefully and beautifully, and just kind of like she sets this bar of acting and then just jumps over it so fucking easily. And does it again and again, and you're like, how is that possible?
Yep.
And also her character arc is very much believable. At first she's very much lost because she needs the stability of a husband, kind of, but then she becomes very independent after her encounter with a second husband, where she's still in this. Like it
starts with him. Like she becomes more independent with him, but then notices similar patterns. Of, oh, this is the kind of person I fall for, which she ends up falling for again.
Yeah, right. And
but that's also very realistic.
Yeah.
And then again.
Right. And the thing is, I kind of like it at the end. I like where she is at the end, though.
Yeah.
Like she is again alone in an apartment because she doesn't need much more, and because she's an empty nester now. And she is very much on her feet, and she's very content about the whole thing. And I feel like that's also something that like that's a very believable thing, that her character needed to go through all the shitty relationships to finally see, oh, I don't need this to be happy. I can also be happy alone. I can I have my family. I still do have them, and they love me and I love them. But I kind of like that too.
Yeah. Well, and even just like when Mason is getting ready, she's living in the apartment then by herself, and he's maybe a few days or something away from leaving for college, and she just has this moment where she's at the table doing something and kind of almost trying to ignore him not because she knows that she'll break down if they talk about it, but then she just has this moment where she completely breaks down, and then they have this really sweet moment together where he's like, he just holds her, you know, and it's just like this sweet, I don't know. It's something about, I cried at that scene because it was just, again, the whole movie feels so real. Like you said, it's almost like you're in the Truman Show or watching Truman as a viewer, and it feels like you're actually experiencing real people go through real life.
It is essentially that, right? They, like, at the end, they knew, okay, the whole thing is going to come to an end. They grew together over the last 12 years or maybe longer. They know each other through all of those years, even though they maybe seen each other only once a year or maybe twice a year. But they also knew it's going to be end. This journey is over now. And I feel like that also takes, like, that's part of that scene, I feel like, and that makes it so powerful and real. Yeah.
To go from being with your kid every single day, driving them to and from school, and then after that, just staying on top of them to make sure they do their homework or, you know, whatever it may be, you know, going in and out of bad relationships, bringing your kids along with you, their support system, they're yours. And then to go from that to solitude, which is where she is at the end of the film. I saw her character development almost, not quite, but almost the reverse direction as Ethan Hawke's. Yeah. Because he begins as, you know, the deadbeat dad, again, year and a half since he's seen them, the whole thing. And then by the end of the film, he's giving fatherhood another whirl. He has this new baby boy with his second wife, and he's recommitted to responsibility. He and his wife, and his in-laws, they all found God, all of that. With Patricia Arquette, it seems to be that she began the film determined to be the responsible one. She's the single working mother. She decides ultimately, I need to make more money to support my kids, so I'm going to go back to college. I'm going back to school. I'm going to finish college. And she becomes a professor, and, you know, she spends the entire film really trying to define who she is. And at that closing scene, when he is getting ready to leave for school, he's all packed up and she's sitting by herself at the table, and she says to him, "What's next for me?" She makes the moment about herself, and it's, "What's next for me?" She says, "Here I am, you know, here you are, you're going off to your new life, and here I am, and, you know, 3 failed marriages, and, you know, I have nothing to speak of for myself." But the thing of it is that, and this is the teacher in me coming out, right before that, and I thought this was really it was very intelligent of Richard Linklater to put this scene in right before she has that meltdown in the kitchen where she's angry at Mason. "I didn't know you were going to be so fucking happy about going off to school. Go. What's next for me? Death?" And he says to her, "Mom, I think you have about 40 years left at least before you can begin thinking about that." But she is just she doesn't know who she is if she's not being a mother. But with the scene beforehand, when she and Samantha and Mason are at the restaurant, and they cross paths with that former student who is singing her praises. "You inspired me. Because of you, I did this and I did that. Lunch is on me. Order whatever you want." Now, I can tell you, as a teacher, when you have that kind of a moment, those are those golden moments that don't happen every day. So when those moments do happen, you cherish them, you embrace them. But for some reason, it did not seem to fill the void that she was feeling inside of herself. And then the very next scene is when she has that kitchen scene breakdown. So I thought that including that moment, which seems to be a throwaway moment, but to me it's really not, because it just led to, okay, she doesn't really know who she is. And even though she has what should be a moment of gratification or a moment of pride or a moment of humility, she doesn't see any of those things. For whatever reason, it's just not enough for her to feel fulfilled. And I think she knew that. I think that out of her frustration and part of her lashing out at Mason, go to school, go ahead, go off to your new life, I think part of that came from the frustration that she felt with herself, that she knew that she couldn't really ever be fully happy. She knew that she has made crappy decisions with her relationships, and she came right out and she said that to Mason when she was saying, "I want to sell the house." She says sarcastically, "I enjoy making bad decisions. I enjoy and then she says, "I want to sell the house. I need to downsize."
I would assume that a lot of that comes from just the insecurity that she's had because of all of these failed relationships. And, they've been abusive. They've been addicted to alcohol. And I'm sure that a lot of that is just like she's constantly in her life seeing important relationships fail and probably feels abandoned because of that, because even though she's leaving, they left her well before she left, if that makes sense. And so maybe she's just, I just see that as like it's an insane amount of insecurity simply from failed relationships that should be the closest relationships you have. So seeing her kids then kind of flourish and go off and make all these great decisions probably also makes her feel really bad about herself and the choices that she made in her young life.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I feel like there's so much truth in there and so much realism that it's also sometimes hard to see scenes like that because we're so trained to see something you just described, or even like more happy endings in the sense. But this movie is not about happy ending. This movie is just about the moment. This is how they feel. This is how it is at this moment.
Isn't that a thing? Like seize the moment. Isn't that a thing in the movie?
I don't remember.
It's like the very last scene.
Yeah.
Mason is in college and he's moving into college. He's moving into his dorm room and his new roommate says to him, come with us. You're not going to go to that freshman orientation thing. Come with us. Right. And so they go off with a couple of other friends, a couple of other girlfriends, and they smoke pot. And the movie ends with him sitting next to this girl and they're just staring off into the horizon. They're in the middle of this. It's not a desert, but it's like a hike they went on. Mm-hmm. And they're just staring off, not breaking the fourth wall, sort of going off to the side, but staring sort of in the direction of the camera. And that's the final frame of the film. And I just think that is so genius that it's not, there is no traditional conclusion. It is a statement that something else is going to happen. And then after that, something else will happen. And that's what life is.
Yeah. And that's kind of the perfect, like that's the movie that describes the entire movie. It's exactly that. It's not what is about to happen. You're never really asking that throughout the movie. Ooh, what's going to happen next? Like that's never really something that, at least for me, didn't pop into my head as it does with a lot of movies. Yeah. It was more just like we're living in this moment right now and we're enjoying this moment without needing the what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Yeah. And also sometimes it also, like the thing is, since there's no real structure in terms of story, it's just those little glimpses of their lives through, those little scenes, or even like more scenes, like with Bill, the abusive alcoholic. There's no need for, what is happening next? Where is this going? It's just like, you just want to know, okay, what is happening in the next year? Where are they ending up? Or are they going to be fine? I feel like that's the biggest concern maybe you have as a viewer. And obviously they will be, otherwise it wouldn't be a nice watch. But yeah, it's a very unique movie. And I feel like, underrated, as you already put it.
100%.
It's a movie that seems to be forgotten, and it's kind of sad. But so I feel like there's the Before trilogy. It's the same with that. Like people don't talk about those movies enough. Yeah.
People who say Hollywood is nothing but remakes and reboots and sequels. These kinds of movies, Boyhood, they're forgotten. It's like there's a whole wealth of them out there. Just go find them, seek them out. They're not going to come knocking on your door. You have to go find them. The sequels and reboots and remakes will come knocking on your door because those are the cash cows. But I honestly think, and this is just me talking, but at the risk of sounding pretentious and judgmental, I honestly think that anybody who is a parent needs to see this movie.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
This movie may as well be called Parenthood, if there weren't already a movie that's called Parenthood.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's let's quickly talk about the music because I have the article on Wikipedia open right now. I feel like it's so interesting because Richard Linklater didn't really know what to do with the music. He was like, should we add score or should we just maybe add voiceover to get more like in depth what's happening? But then he just chose to end up using songs from the year period, and also something that they would listen to, like the kids would listen to at that time. Yeah. And it's so brilliant because it's so fitting and it puts you right into, oh yeah, this was this year. Oh yeah. And it's just, and also the last song, I mean, one of my favorite songs ever. What is it called? Should have looked it up earlier. God damn it.
Unprepared as usual.
Yeah, but I'll find it. But it's such a brilliant idea to just a Family of the Year. That's the last song. Yeah, it's such a brilliant idea to. It's so simple, and it's like, you're sure you do that, right? But it's so simple, and it just makes so much sense. And I don't know, the soundtrack is brilliant. It's like such a brilliant collection of songs that work so well together, and also convey the year, convey also where they are in their lives, kinda. Yeah, works so well.
And again, that's the authenticity right there.
Yeah.
Is that you have, I mean, the scene in the bowling alley earlier in the film, he's going off on them. Well, not going off on them, but he's going on this rant with his kids saying, who are you going to vote? Who would you vote for? Who would you vote for? And he's going on in his personal political beliefs about Bush and the Iraq War and post 9/11 and all of that. So he begins as an idealist, and he sort of comes down to earth.
Yeah.
They both were idealists, both Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette, but the fact that they just completely go in opposite directions as far as how they go about dealing with that idealism, how they hang on to it to a certain extent, how they lose it to a large extent. And I just think that the music complements those moods perfectly, because you have songs that are playing when he's playing hide and seek with his kids. There are songs playing when she is on the road and she is fleeing her previous professor who became her second husband. The soundtrack was just, it wasn't a soundtrack that obviously wasn't just, they just sat down and put it together. My guess is it must have put together piecemeal over the years, just like the film itself was.
Yeah, I mean, sure, because, I mean, he couldn't think of, oh yeah, and this year we will use this song because the song wasn't out yet.
It makes me wonder if they waited until it was completely finished to even start the soundtrack.
I assume so. Maybe not for every scene, but I assume so too, because you want to feel the whole thing should be that alone puts me to another thing. One of the things while watching, I mean, where I get more technical, I watched the movie and like, okay, sure, it's filmed on film. It has to be shot on film. It was filmed on 35 millimeter, and they used the same camera. And the reason, and it's a brilliant reason, is film is going to be around in 15 years, 20 years, whatever. You know that this format is existing, so you want to make the movie look the same.
Yeah.
Obviously, you could see flaws at the beginning simply because I assume that the DP was not as experienced or they weren't as good yet with handling the camera, and you can see that. But
doesn't that also kind of beautifully fit with the whole thing?
It kind of works. It was a little annoying to me because I saw those things, and so I was distracted by it. But it works, and same with the music. I guess they had to find a way to make it fit all together.
Yeah.
And I assume that some of the songs came later and some of the songs came earlier. Like, you know, when they shot this year, and you're like, oh, this song just came out. I want to put that in the movie. I assume like both ways, but yeah, with the camera, it's a brilliant idea, and it's just it's beautiful. It's a beautiful transfer to digital, and I'm so thankful that Linklater did not say that they would shoot on digital, because the movie would look horrible, especially at the beginning. You would see the difference of this is digital in 2002. And this is digital in 2014.
And I feel like it would also kind of distract from the seamless time jumps.
Yeah.
You know, where it's you're kind of always guessing what, you know, did we change times yet? Because Mason kind of looks a little different, but the same, or Ethan Hawke looks the same. And so you couldn't really tell all the time. Or like there was one specific jump that was really hard to tell, where the kids looked identical, but they were a little bit taller. Yeah. And we were like, did it change yet? And so that would have made those seamless time jumps not so seamless anymore, because it would have been super obvious.
Yeah, no, the fact that there were no title cards telling us, it didn't spoon feed us saying, age whatever, grade whatever. We are now in 2007, 2011, whatever. I think that works to the film's advantage.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure. Yeah. Is there something else you want to add? Is there something else you?
I mean,
you
I
have
was
not
gonna
talked about?
ask as kind of a final question if there was anything that brought you back to being a teenager. Like, did you relate to Mason in any way, just as a young man growing up in a different time, but still a young man growing up as a teenager? And, you know, if you related to him in any way.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I know that I've been talking about nothing but the parent perspective, but oh, believe me, there were plenty of moments where I was like, oh yeah, I remember feeling that way, and I still kind of do. No, I I grew up in a very strict household, very religious, strict household, and it was never anything that was important to me. It was never anything that I believed in, never anything that I valued. So it was very much the mindset of, well, you're wrong, you're screwed up. And in fact, and if I'm not mistaken, I think when I was 16 once, I think my father did turn to my face and say, it's discouraging that you try to raise your kids to be good people, and then you realize how screwed up and warped they are. And
Wow.
I remember saying to him, well, I don't need to be called screwed up and warped. And I turned around and began walking out of the room and get back in here. Throw the holy water all over me.
The power of Christ compels you.
Pretty much. But yeah, no, but so I certainly knew what Mason and Samantha were feeling, even now at the age of 51. I still, those feelings, they make an impact on you. They never leave you. It's like you see something that's a trigger, and it definitely brings back those feelings of it can be very difficult to find the fortitude to break away from something that is not part of who you are, especially if you're being told what you are rather than being allowed to develop into who you really are. And I think that with Mason and Samantha, well, Samantha definitely, she was always the rebellious one. She never really gave much credence to anything that anybody was saying. Mason, I think he felt the same way to a certain extent, but I think he was also a lot more nonverbal about it.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, like she was the one who would come right out and be defiant. She was the one who would say, picking up my brother after school, that talk about embarrassing. I don't want to pick up some 8th grade twerp and like all of that. You know, I definitely remember those kinds of conversations where it was like, you know, you're just scolded in front of your friend. The parent walks out of the room. You turn to the friend and you try to save face and say, "Well, that was awkward." And so there wasn't any one particular moment that to me made me relate to the kids. It was more just, again, a series of moments where it was like, it brings it back, for sure.
I agree. Which I think like it's. No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think it helps you in those. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go. Finish what you were saying.
Sorry. I think it helps you when you're a parent yourself, when you're in those parenting moments of, okay, what should I say? What should I not say? Should I react? Should I not react? In a similar situation when I was in this, when I was on the other side of it, you know, did yelling in someone's face really do any good? Well, definitely not. I've never yelled in my kids' faces. You know, I've never hit my kids. I've never done anything like that. So I think that being reminded, whether it's film or music or whatever, I think just any kind of artistic expression, such as this film Boyhood, I think any time that you are brought back to what it was like as a kid, it definitely helps you in your adult years when you're making parenting decisions that you otherwise might not have thought about critically. You might just instinctively go with what you know. So, and I think a lot of times when you come out of something that wasn't always great, I think that actually in the long run, I don't want to say it does you favors, but it certainly gives you a broadened perspective. And so I think that a lot of times, if you choose to put in the work, if you choose to put in the energy, if you choose to put in the time, if you choose to have it as your top priority in life, if you say to yourself, I am going to be a better parent, I think that that's where the good comes out of it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also had that feeling watching it where you kind of just, it makes you, I mean, our Marley is very young still, obviously she's a year and a half, but it does make you kind of almost think about the future and think like, I think back to when I was a teenage girl and the experiences that I had with my mom. And granted, I had really great experiences with my mom. Like, she and I were always really close, but you know, my friends and stuff, I saw how cruel they were to their mothers at that age, and then how their mothers reacted to it. And I think it's also, like you said, it's a way to reflect back on, this is what it's like to be a teenage girl, or this is what it's like to be a teenage boy, and how I react as a parent affects that, you know, or this works and this doesn't work. And that's also, and then just thinking back to your own time in, you know, at that age is also interesting. Like, I related more to Mason personally than to Samantha, because I was never really the super rebellious kid.
Yeah,
I did some things, but not really out of rebellion, just out of
Mason
this would be
also,
fun.
I feel like, I mean, obviously Mason is more the main. You see more about his life. You see more his inside life, how he's doing and stuff like that. It's more his perspective most of the time. But he's also, I feel like, I mean, I lean more towards Mason because he's also very, you know, inside. He's not very outgoing extrovert. And so he's
also kind of always trying to find his group, like his people.
Right. That's the thing that drew me more to him as well.
Yeah.
Like, he's not the football sports guy. He's not the super, you know,
which you see in a lot of movies, which is, you know, a lot of times they have that very stereotypical, the boy in the family is the jock and he does all the sports and he's got, you know, he's super popular, and the girl is kind of like sometimes more the awkward one, or she's the super popular girl. It's, you know, but if they show the more awkward side, I feel like most of the time tends to be the girl. And I mean, I feel like that's changed over the years, but it's a refreshing perspective, I feel like, to see.
I mean, I assume
that side of it.
Linklater put a lot of his growing up into this, because I feel like, you know, growing up as a creative, growing up knowing that you want to do something with art and stuff puts you automatically in that position a little bit, because you're an outsider. You're not, you have to find your group, and in high school or even before high school, it's hard to find that group.
When you're not, you're pigeonholed, I think, when you're not, when you don't go along with what you're quote unquote supposed to do according to gender. So, which I love the fact that they have Mason be a photographer.
Yes.
I just think that I thought that was just so cool. That was just so cool. And I love the fact that between the two of them, that she was the more abrasive one. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know if she was supposed to be an unlikable character. Again, though, I don't know if it's a matter of something was supposed to be something, but it's like, I found it difficult to like her. To be honest.
I mean, it's from her perspective, from his perspective, so it kind of makes sense that you feel like this little, like, she's kind of annoying.
But that's, like you said earlier, I feel like there is no way you're supposed to feel during this movie. I think it's so well done that there's no, like, the director is not trying to make you dislike or like a character. He's just showing realistic ways that teenagers grow up, realistic ways that parents change and evolve over, you know, a span of time, and over things, you know, traumas that might happen. But that's, you know, I think that's just such a powerful aspect of this movie, is that he's not trying to make you feel any certain way necessarily. It's more just how you feel is how you feel, because you either relate to this character or you don't relate to this character.
Yeah. Well, she didn't want to keep doing the movie. You probably know this.
Really?
The actress playing Samantha did not want to continue doing the movie. At one point, I don't remember what year it was, but at one point she said, "Can you please write me out of this movie?" And, you know, they said to her, "Well, how? We can't really." And she actually asked for her character to be killed off.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, I can see that in her later performance. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I always thought was kind of, whoa. it's like, I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe she just, at that point, however old she was when that happened, 12, 15, I have no idea. But maybe she was just at a point where she said, you know what, I just want to live a normal teenage life, or whatever her reasons may have been. I just thought that was really fascinating to read.
And kudos for her finishing it, because I feel like she's still a big part of the whole thing.
I think so too. She's a really big part.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Do you have something to add?
Just that anybody who is listening who has not seen this movie, do yourselves a favor and go stream it. You will be glad you did.
Yeah.
It is definitely one of the best films, in my opinion, of the 21st century so far. Not just because of the quality of the acting and the writing, but also just simply in the fact that it was just. I just think it was just so. It was. People say all the time that movies are so unrealistic. Movies are always overblown, but I mean, if you're looking for realism in movies, you're not going to get much more realistic than this.
Yeah.
In a genre like this, I mean.
I totally
well,
agree.
and movies, most movies today are so like fast paced and you know, that's what people have a hard time focusing and concentrating on movies that tend to be a little slower. But I feel like this one would be much easier because again, it just feels so natural. It doesn't feel like it drags on, and it doesn't feel like there's any scene that should be taken out to make the movie shorter. Like it all works so perfectly. Yep. So it's definitely, for me, it's just top quality filmmaking.
Yeah. Well,
you have something.
Oh, sorry. Please. Sorry.
Sorry.
That's fine. Please go ahead.
You know, you have a good story being told when after the running time, whatever the running time is, 2.5 hours, I think it is. When a film runs that length and ends and leaves you wanting more, that's something.
Yeah.
I mean, you spend so much time with them. You see them grow up. And I mean, naturally, you want to see more of the characters and stuff. Yeah. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for, first of all, choosing that perfect movie and for talking with us about it. We will for sure put all your info into the description so people can check out your podcast, Reels of Cinema.
Yes.
I know it. Thanks again. Was very, very, very nice.
Thank you so much. I always love talking to you guys. And if I may say just one more thing. The only person in my life who ever called me Frankie was my grandmother. And I will say this. The two of you are the only other two people in this world right now that I will allow to call me that because you guys are you're just salt of the earth. So thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. And sorry for doing that. I don't know. When we talk, I always refer to you as Frankie, so it came natural.
Movie of the week.
Okay, we watched.
What did we watch?
Oh man, we didn't watch that many movies. We watched Ballerina, the John Wick spin-off. We watched The Long Walk and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Something. That's it?
That's it. Yeah.
That can't be it. I feel like we watched more than that.
I watched like 10 more movies.
It must be nice.
But yeah.
I watched a toddler scream in my face.
That's it. That's the movies that we watched. Yeah. I would choose.
I would choose The Long Walk.
It's between The Long Walk and Guardians, but Guardians is old. I would choose let's do The Long Walk. Stephen King adaptation from the same named book came out literally now, September 2025.
It's a great adaptation of a book, especially a Stephen King book. A lot of times those movies tend to be on the cheesier side somehow. Like people just don't seem to know how to turn his books into movies. With few exceptions, there are exceptions to that, but this was phenomenally done.
In a dystopian alternative America ruled by a totalitarian regime, 50 teenagers boys take part in a deadly annual walking contest forced to maintain a minimum pace or be executed until only one survivor remains.
Yep.
Cooper Hoffman, Cooper Hoffman,
Philip Seymour
Hoffman's son, David Johnson, known from Alien, the latest Alien movie. A lot of other great actors, and then Mark Hamill in one of the bigger roles. Phenomenal movie.
Sorry.
It's hard to watch at times. It feels very timely. We talked about that already with Frank a little bit, not on the recording, but afterwards.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not
worth a watch.
It's worth a watch, yeah.
I feel like it says in the genres on IMDb, I might be wrong, but I feel like it says horror. It's not really. There are horrific scenes. There is, what are you doing to the camera right now? Oh my, that was way too much. There are some horrific scenes, like graphic scenes. Did you just fart on the podcast?
I'm sorry.
Sir. It's very unprofessional.
It's fart time after 8 at night.
There are some very graphic scenes, but I wouldn't call it a horror movie in the sense that you would think
not a
horror
at all.
Thriller maybe.
It's
It's hard to watch at times, but I feel like the underlying tone of the movie is just like, this is a story of like friendship, kind of.
It's a very it feels very like it's
and
a very
connection.
It's a hopeful movie. It doesn't like weigh you down. It's horrific to watch.
I mean, it does weigh you down a little bit.
Yeah, it does weigh you down, but at the same time, it's also still there's hope.
Yeah.
And they convey it. Otherwise, you wouldn't watch the movie.
Going into it, you kind of know what to expect.
Right.
Like the premise of the movie pretty much tells you exactly what's going to happen without. But it's very good. Definitely worth the watch, I think. And you should go see it for sure.
Yeah. Should we do the Boyhood Letterboxd reviews?
Sure. I don't have any on my phone right now, but I can look.
I have just the first one is even Hawk gets hotter as this goes on.
Yes, sir. He does.
It's funny. There are a lot of really bad reviews.
Really? Why do people? I don't understand. That movie is brilliant.
Yeah, some people don't connect with that kind of movie, and I don't. That's just how it is.
That's annoying to me.
Yeah, as someone is like, Ethan Hawke really went from cool guy, black card musician, drinking.
Oh, people really don't like it.
Fries to dad Christian with a van and shit. Like saddest character development.
Ew, that's not even true. He has the best character. Okay, people really don't like it on Letterboxd. That's really surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, Letterboxd is very special.
I mean, again, something I think we actually said this on the podcast with Frank, that people prefer fast-paced movies where, you don't have to think that much, and it's just like you're not watching somebody's life unfold, but I don't know. How can you not appreciate this movie? I'm sorry. It is so good.
Yeah. That moment when Hero by Family of the Year, that's the band, needle drops hits as pure as cinema gets.
I've watched this twice in the span of a week to cope with my quarter-life crisis, so please just give me some space right now.
Oh, yeah. Just read that one, too.
The remarkable tale of a young man with amazing hair.
Penis boy becoming a penis man. Whatever that means.
Sorry. This cough is so annoying.
Yeah, let's stop here.
Yes, please.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Frank, again. Check his podcast out. Is Reels of Cinema. It's great. It's great. He
has a really unique take to his podcast.
It's so fun.
Really,
he does
really
it
great.
Very smart. He has a very great
engaging
humor, right? And he does it alone. That alone is kudos.
Yeah.
Check out his podcast.
He's definitely a storyteller.
And
lovely.
And thanks again, Frankie. And that's it. If you want to support us, please head over to our Patreon. Please like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to our podcast.
And share if you like an episode and feel like, hey, somebody I know might like this movie or would be interested in this episode, then send it their way.
Do that for sure. And that's it, everybody.
That's it.
Bye.
Goodbye.